Okay, I've put most of these figures in. I just wanted to show you the last column and how to do that bit very quickly. So again, I'm starting here. I've typed in equals, and this is the amount of money taken. So if I go to my sales record sheet, just make sure that I've chosen the correct one, CC. Let's just have a look on my summary sheet. Oh no, wrong one, so I'm just going to press escape. So AF is the one I want. So let's just go to summary sheet, drop down my list, choose begins with from text filters, AF for animal farm. Okay, these are all the AF figures, and what I want to put in that column are the sales amounts, not the zero amounts because that's just for blank cells, but the actual sales amounts here for 2008. So if I go back to summary, this is where the answer is going to go. So I type in equals here, go to my sales record sheet, click on the first one, add the second one, and the next one, and the next one, and the last one, and then press enter, and the answer is written here. Now, an interesting thing to observe in the sales record sheet is that the 2009 and 10 figures are just written in the next column along. So therefore, in our summary sheet, once we have the 2008 figures for Animal Farm, Cute Cuddly, Furry Friends and Wildlife Safari, as I have here, it's just a matter of highlighting those and doing a fill across. And again, when this happens, we know that's because the columns aren't big enough to hold the information, so we just make that slightly bigger. Okay, so that does it in one step. Obviously you can carry on and do it in very slow steps if you wish, but there we go, completely up to you. Okay, so we're going to work out what the formula needs to be in here, and what we really need to be able to see is whether sales have increased in 2010 when we compare them to 2008. So the easiest way of doing that is to say equals whatever sales we had in 2010, take away the sales that happened in 2008. And as you can see, that basically tells us that sales went up by 41 units for that range in those 2 years. And again, we can just fill this down. And so this is quite interesting because this tells us that there was a drop in sales for this particular range. And again, we can format that number. So let's just have a look at what's going to go on here. So again, we need to have a look to see whether there's been an increase or a decrease. So have things improved in 2010? So easiest way of doing that is the 2010 figure, take away whatever happened here, enter, and then drag this down, and then we'll do the formatting because this has got to be formatted in a particular way. Oh, and that's interesting, that just bears with the figures that we had here, that we've actually lost a bit of money there. So we'll do the formatting and then I'll show you what the design sheet looks like. Okay, now in this column we've written rounded down to the next whole pound. So what we need to do is we need to put a function in to round this down, and the way we do that, there's my formula, equals H4 to F4. So I'm going to click in between the equals and the start of H. So as you can see, that's where I've clicked. I'm going to start typing the word round, and I need to double click on round down. Now when I've double clicked on round down, it then tells me that these are the things that I need to put in. In brackets, I need to put the number in. So it started me off on a bracket, but I'm just going to put a bracket around the two numbers that I want rounded down. And then it says follow it by a comma, so I'm going to put a comma, and then the number of digits, I want it rounded down to the whole pound, so I want it rounded down by 1. So I close this. So as you can see, I've put two sets of brackets around the H4, F4, because that then gives me one single number, and then there's just brackets around the whole of that, comma 1, and let's do enter. Oh, okay, so that's given me the wrong number, so actually I shouldn't have rounded down to 1. I should actually round down to £0. So, and then do enter. Okay, that's correct. And again, I can fill that down, and that's done it for all of them. And the other thing that we can do is we can now format this and not have any decimal places showing. So I've clicked on home, I've decreased the number of decimal places, etc. So again, just to show you that we need to have a design sheet completed for the summary sheet showing, so I've just put here that this is going to be the sum of wildlife safari items from the sales record sheet, and I just put a note here: use a filter on the sales record sheet to display one category at a time. Talked a bit about having some borders, rounded down to the nearest pound. I suppose here we could actually say the formula, so rather than just saying equals that, take away that, actually have equals round down there, which will make this a distinction piece of work. So one last thing, all that's it actually on the summary sheet. Obviously just finish off the formatting, and then if we actually have a look at what we've managed to finish, so under the user requirements, all of this has now been done. So we can just go ahead and format that to our green, and it now just says we've got these things left to do, which is search and sort the stock list to find sales figures for a particular range, and then use it to help predict future income and produce some charts. So we'll do that in the next couple of videos, but actually that's quite a lot of it finished, so well done.